श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं तव क्षाम्यनसूयवे ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषाः धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्यमां निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि मया तदमिदं सर्वं जगतं व्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन्न च भूतस्थः ममात्मा भूतभावनः यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम् प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतकाममिमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात् न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु मया दक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति। Krishna glorified the knowledge by saying this is Raja Vidya and Raja Guhya. I don't know whether you will understand Raja Vidya, but definitely today you will understand how this is Raja Guhya. Because he is going to start the subject from verse 4. The once he starts explaining the subject, 10 minutes you will switch off. Not easy. It will look like you have understood everything. At the same time, you will not understand it. That's why it is called the supreme secret. Rajamukhya. This is those who are devoid of Shraddha, faith in this Dharma. This Dharma, see, the word Dharma has many meanings. Right? So in every context we keep asking this question, which meaning to be used here? So you don't have one word, one meaning here. That is a scientific language. There, one word, one meaning. Oh, here it's more of poetry. That's why it is called the Bhagavad Gita. Poetry, we use one word with many meanings. And same meaning with many words also. So it is meaning the same one, but many words will be used. Like in the sixth chapter and seventh chapter. Sixth chapter, he is glorifying yogi. Seventh chapter, he glorifies jnani. Now, are you going to be a yogi or are you going to be jnani? Forget about what you are going to be. What is he meaning? One day he says be yogi, one day he says be jnani. It's like saying, one day you play cricket and one day you play football. You decide whether you want to become a cricketer or you want to become a football player. You can't do both. So what is the meaning there, sir? Then the meaning is one word, words are many. Here, one word, different meaning. Here the word dharma refers to the knowledge. To the knowledge of the self. Knowledge of the self means the knowledge that is contained in the scriptures. So scriptural knowledge is what is referred here as dharma. Those who, when devoid of Shraddha in the scriptural knowledge, why scriptural knowledge? Those who are not having that will not be able to attain this. That's what he says. Without attaining me, return to the path of the mortal world. Those without this knowledge, meaning to attain that knowledge, meaning to gain that quote unquote experiential understanding, you need a theoretical understanding. In a technical term, we call it as, before that sadhyam is possible, you need a sadhana first. For men who are devoid of Shraddha, those who are lacking Shraddha will not attain me. Aprapyamam. Without attaining me. Without attaining me, what happens to them, sir? It says those people will nivartante. Nivartante means two things. In one context, it is return. In another context, it is remain. So they remain or they return. So if you are speaking about the jiva who is passed away, then nivartante means return. If you are referring to a jiva who is alive, then nivartante means you remain. So you remain or return. If you take it as return, then return to the path of the mortal world. They come back to the mortal world. Mrityu samsara. Mrityu samsara means a samsara with pain. That's the meaning of it. Mrityu samsara. Those who do not attain the end result, which is realization. those who cannot get that self-realization, what happens to those people, sir? They remain in the world of pain. That's what he refers as Vritti Samsara Vartmani. So those people will remain in that cycle of birth and death, or they return to the cycle of birth and death again. They keep coming back again and again and again. Why? Because they don't even attain that sadhana possibility, first of all. Only when you capture the means, there is a possibility to get to the end. Isn't it? If you have to go to Bombay, you have to catch Bombay Highway. You have not yet gone into Bombay Highway. In fact, you are traveling in Chennai direction. When you are traveling towards Chennai, how can you reach to Bombay? First thing you need to do is what? You got to get on to Bombay Highway. You are going towards Salem. There is a chance for you to achieve. But those who have gone into the Bombay Highway, it's just a question of time. And that's what he says. Kshipram, he said. They attain quickly. Easily they'll attain. Just a question of time. Why? He's on track. So, why they are not able to attain? Because the sadhana which is needed for a person to get to that realization, that itself he will not attain. By the lack of Shraddha. Must have that faith. You should have faith. Faith in what? Faith in this dharma, he says. In this dharma, you need faith. Why you need faith in this dharma, sir? The faith in the dharma has three aspects. One is the knowledge, the very nature of this knowledge. Because the knowledge talks about Brahma Satyam, Jagan Nitya. Our experience shows what? Jagat Satyam, Brahman we don't know. World is, there is no doubt about that we have. Right? Snake is, he doesn't know rope. Right? Now, there will be a fight between, there is a discrepancy between our experience and what the teacher says, what the scripture say, what the knowledge says. Now, which one you are going to take? Or, okay, you have to give the benefit of doubt. To what you will give the benefit of doubt defines the whole thing. If you give the benefit of doubt to yourself, that is ashraddha. People without shraddha. So what is opposite of that? Shraddha. What is shraddha? Shraddha means you give the benefit of doubt to this knowledge, to what is going to be taught, what he is going to speak now, what he is going to explain now. Because he has already stated this. What I am going to speak is Rajaguhya. It is royal secret. It's not going to be easy for you to understand. Most of it will go overboard. You will not be able to relate. Even though you are not able to relate to it, do not leave it. Pursue. Stay with it. Maybe that is correct. What if they are correct? This stance is what is referred as Shraddha. If a person is not having that, he will not even pursue it. He will not even probe, he will not even inquire. He will take it for granted. What? Seeing the world, it is there. What is your issue? God, where is he? Show me. He will ask. There is no chance for him. So that is why he says, first thing is, you must have Shraddha in the knowledge. Second one is, you should have that Shraddha in the methodology. You must have faith in the methodology. God is there, sir, correct. But method is not jnana. Method is not knowledge. Method is what? Nama Sankirtanam. What are you supposed to do? In Kali Yuga, only Nama Sankirtana will help you. Or do one homam. Ganapati homam. I'm not saying you should not do all those things, okay? Not as they say, right? Bhagavad Gita class now won't help. Or very popular one. What is it, sir? How do you get that realization? Huh?
Meditation.
Meditation. Clear. How do you get it, sir? Meditate. All that you require is what? Meditation. Bhagavad Gita class now is of no use. A waste of time. Okay, you can do that also. Wait, you don't have anything else to do. Right. Sunday morning, what else to do? So we are done Gita class also. Maybe, suppose by chance if Gita class is going to be the criteria by Krishna, then after my death, he will ask, did you attend Vedanta class? Did you attend Gita class? If I say no, cut off, I will lose. That is what they say. Wrong marking they have. No? Wrong answer. Negative marking. Negative marking pottarna. The exams, they have the negative marking. So what all strategy they have to answer? Hey, just answer no. No. You should not attempt those things. Why? Because negative marking. And then they have a strategy for that. Because how much is the negative marking there? Half mark? Or quarter? Like that. Bhagavad Gita class also is required. Therefore, what? Let's attend once a week Bhagavad Gita class also. Must have that trust in what? Akasya Vaknivat Jnana. What is the methodology? Like fire for cooking. This knowledge is the means for gaining this realization. If I have to evolve, if I have to grow, what is needed in life is knowledge. You must have that conviction in that. You must have that faith in that. Conviction will come later. See, first you should have that faith in this aspect first of all. Only then there is a possibility. Therefore, he says, those who are lacking that Shraddha, will he pursue that? He may say, yes, sir, I want God. But for that, this is not the way. Sir, I want to go to Bombay, but not in this route. Possible? No. He says, no. Shraddha means what? Shraddha means you must have that Shraddha in the knowledge, in the jnana, and also you must have that faith in that jnana sadhana also as a means. That is also needed. Then they say the Shraddha should be having the third dimension. First dimension is you should trust the knowledge, scripture. Second one is you should understand jnanam is the means. Or to put it very strictly, Jnanam is the only means. There is no other means. There is no other way. Why no other way? Because antidote for ignorance is knowledge. Now, don't say you people are very, very fanatic. I say the only way you can get rid of darkness is to bring in light. When I say, you immediately pounce on me saying what? Why are you so fanatic? Be liberal. You can switch on fan. You can bring in ice water. Warm water. Broom. Chant Om. What will happen, sir? By chanting Om, we can remove darkness. Oh. How is it possible? I'll appear little fanatic in your eyes, isn't it? Because you will say, we people are very liberal, you fellows are very closed. Shraddha means what? You must have the jnanam, knowledge is the only means to remove ignorance. There is no other way. You cannot do anything. You can't say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You can do all other things. Then what about karma? What about bhakti? What about those things? That is a different thinking. Okay, we are not getting into it. Those things are all only preparations. Exactly like washing the rice. See, they do, no? They clean the rice, chop the vegetables. All those things are what? Preparation for cooking. That's not cooking. Actual cooking starts when?
Heat is applied.
Suddenly everybody is looking at me like,
Because they only know.
Process of cooking starts only when you switch on the gas and keep the rice on that. Only then cooking is started. Before that, what are you doing? Preparation. Without preparing, if you put everything inside, without chopping vegetables, you added that. What will happen? Today, what sabji? Mutakos. The noodle goes there, no? Sambar. The whole thing in. How can you eat? You cannot. You need to chop. You need to clean and then start the process. Preparation. So this karma, bhakti, all this elementary knowledge, all that you are gaining, all those things are what? Those things are all preparations. When you are yet to start the preparation itself, you are talking about what? You cannot quench your hunger. You cannot satiate your hunger. For you to satiate your hunger, what you have to do? You have to eat. If you have to eat, what you have to do? Cook. If you have to cook, you have to prepare. To prepare, you got to buy. To buy, you need money. Other than that, a fellow is not having money with him. Where is a chance for him to quench? That's what he says. Men devoid of Shraddha won't attain. So, what you must have then? You should have that faith in, if I travel on this road, it will definitely take me to Bombay. It will take me to Bombay. You must have that faith. On what? On the signboard. The signboard points to what? I traveled on the road. No? I've seen the boards. All over the world I have checked. Everywhere they point to only one direction. What? Upwards. Have you seen? You want to go anywhere in the world, any road, always will point to what? Upwards only. Right? You want to go to Chennai, it will be written. Chennai will go up. Hyderabad, up. Then it's upwards or what? Airport upwards. But you know for certain what? It is, even though it is pointing into a direction in which there is no road, and it has got nothing to do with the road in which you are actually going to go, you understand what? If I continue to travel in this direction, it will certainly take me to the desired destination. This is the faith that you have and you travel. No one files a case on the National Highway authorities. You people don't even know how to give direction. Allah Shraddha in what? In the fruit of my efforts. By me studying the 9th chapter, I will understand what is the truth. That's what he is going to explain here. When devoid of Shraddha, Shraddha in what? You must have Shraddha in the scripture first. Then you need Shraddha in the understanding, in the faith, in taking this as the proper methodology, method to gain that knowledge. 3, you must also have Shraddha in the certainty of the fruit of your labor, which you are going to realize much later. But you have that faith. If you have doubt in any one of this, you will not even begin your journey. The one who has not begun the journey, what are his chances of reaching the desired destination? No chance. That's what he says. Without attaining me. Without attaining me, what they will be doing? If you don't get to realization, what are you going to do, sir? You remain in samsara, or you go and come back. You keep going and coming, going and coming, going and coming. That's what he means. Return to the path of the mortal world. All big preparations, okay? I'm scared to start the text. That's why I'm waiting. I'm trying to go around and around and around. Yes.
So you said, Jnana we do in order to gain the knowledge. So but in order to even start that, apart from having Shraddha, there's some level of knowledge required, or some understanding should be there.
Not that you will have understanding. You will, what you require is a fundamental discontentment.
So this is not the thing.
I am not satisfied, man. It's not enough for me. That fundamental dissatisfaction should be there. That is enough. Then you will start searching. When that fundamental, what we call as, existential crisis. There's a crisis. Now, if you ask that fellow, what is wrong in your life? He says, nothing wrong in my life. There's nothing wrong. Everything is going fine. And then you can employ examples then. You can employ all the great Mahatma's life. If you take, what is the problem in their life? Actually, there is no problem. See? Good wife, good family, good child, wealth is there, name is there, fame is there, everything is there. Now, what had happened? Why he has to leave everything and go? You take Janaka, you take Yajnavalkya, you take Buddha. What is his problem? Suddenly he reached a point of what? What is the problem for Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, Vivekananda, Ramatirtha, Ramana? None of them had any problem as such in their life, factually speaking. But still they were so disappointed. That fundamental disappointment, dissatisfaction with disinterest must experience. That much is enough for a person to start. You don't require any understanding. Then things will happen one by one. You see, now here he is not talking about that stage. He is talking about a stage after that. After that, you have crossed over, you have started searching, and you have started inquiring, then you come to a possibility to move in a particular direction. And at that point, you will always be on a fork. This way, this way, this way, this way. There are 3, 4 roads are there. Now, how will you go? That's why he is giving Shraddha. He is asserting again, you do require that Shraddha. There is a fundamental faith. Shraddha, what he is referring to here, is a fundamental faith you must have. To take any one course. No. Now suddenly you wanted to switch your direction. That switching of direction is because of the previous direction is looking uninteresting to you. That much is enough for a person to start thinking of switch out of a direction. And then in which direction you are going to go depends on your Shraddha. Where your Shraddha is. So if you want to gain this Raja Vidya, for you must pursue this as Raja Vidya. But the nature of it is such that it will become Raja Guhya. Right? But we don't start it as Raja Guhya. We start it as royal knowledge. It is a royal knowledge. This is how we will start. Okay. Yes.
In the commentary,
I don't have.
yeah,
Which was?
same was.
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
Ah.
So, is there connection to mind's devotion, Shraddha, which refers third sentence, fourth sentence.
Yes.
Shraddha emphasizes not only mind's deep devotion, but also intellect's careful reflection and absorption of knowledge.
Hmm.
This connection of intellectual reflection,
Yes.
Shraddha,
Yeah.
would not get to.
That's what I explained now. Those 3 points. Why I should have that Shraddha first of all. Now he says you should have Shraddha. Krishna says those who are devoid of Shraddha will not attain. Then the student would immediately probe into why I need Shraddha. What is a necessity for me to have Shraddha, man? Why should I have faith? See, to understand mathematics, you don't need faith. You need what? Intelligence. You must have that IQ. If you have a very poor IQ, then you cannot understand mathematics. Correct. If you want to go for this arts, you need that particular acumen. Correct. Now, suddenly, when it comes to this subject, he is not talking about Shraddha as these things. He suddenly says, this knowledge demands Shraddha. No other subject is demanding Shraddha. Now, a student will be asking this question. See, I want to gain this knowledge. Therefore, I come here to study. When I wanted to study, instead of asking me the questions which I'm usually used to, do you have the attitude? Do you have this? Do you have that? all those things. Suddenly here he is asking, do you have faith? Do you believe in mathematics? You say, what? I believe in mathematics. Have you ever seen anybody asking this question? Do you believe in engineering? If at all they ask the question only as what? Do you believe engineering will give you employment? As you are studying, will you get a job? On college, announced. Advertisement came. You learn as you are studying. Seriously, not joking. Right? Came in the TV now. Advertisement, big advertisements, This. And then they proved that those to join the college is like our, office. We have also office, no? Vedanta Institute, Bangalore has an office. Anyone of you have seen? Huh? Trustee, have you seen? Trustees themselves don't know. Exactly same condition there. See, no other subject we demand faith. Only in this subject, suddenly he says, those who are not having faith will not get this knowledge, will not be able to attain me, not be able to get realization. Then immediately you ask the question, why I need this here? That is where intellectual participation comes into the picture. You get it? So faith, Shraddha has both aspects. One aspect of Shraddha is emotional aspect, the trust factor. Who do you trust? You trust the teacher, teacher's words. Guru Vakya, you say. In his statements, you have the trust. And then you trust in the methodology. And you trust this will definitely take me to the desired result. All three. So you trust the source, you trust the method, and you trust the fruit. It's possible. This is not just blind. It's not, yeah, correct, sir. If you say it is correct, that is, blind acceptance. But Shraddha, he says, not like that. Shraddha has the aspect of inquiry also. You inquire also there. Then we identify the relevance of that quality needed for what? This quality is needed for you to start what? The process. And you can't just start and stop. You have to start the car and keep driving till you hit Bombay. Isn't it? The whole thing is what is referred as Shraddha. It's not just. I was referring only to the starting part. When you have not started itself, there is a chance for you to reach there. But just because you have started doesn't mean you will reach there. You have to start and you have to keep driving in the direction of Bombay till you hit Bombay. If you go right up to Pune and stop, then there's no point. Then there is not Shraddha. So Shraddha is the quality that starts the journey and sustains the journey. So starting and sustaining till you reach. Therefore, Krishna says, Shraddha is the most important. All qualities, he is specifying this particular quality. Of course, there are other associated qualities are all needed. You need titiksha, you need to do tapas, you need this, Allah separate. But of all those things, if you have to pick one quality and say, if you have this one, that is enough. He says, if you have Shraddha in this dharma, Shraddha in the knowledge. In the knowledge, Shraddha means what? 3 points. In all these aspects, if you have, and you start with it, sustain the journey, you reach your desired destination. Get it? Shraddha in fruits of my efforts is different to desire to attain the fruits of action. See, Shraddha in the fruits of my efforts is different to desire. Desire is just a fantasy. It's just a fantasy idea. There's no effort. Desire to attain the fruits of my action means you are having this infatuation, craving for the fruit. That's called a desire for the fruit of action. It's a desire for the fruit of action means craving, result orientation. Shraddha is not result orientation. In Shraddha, you know, if I keep driving in this direction, in this road, I will hit Bombay. There is no doubt you have on that. That doesn't mean you are waiting. How long? How long? Every 2 kilometers you keep checking. How long? Every 10 minutes you keep asking a person. How long to reach there? How long is more to reach? How long is more to? How long is more? It takes about 15 hours to reach. Okay. 15 hours, you have just started, 15 minutes over. In 15 minutes over, the person asks, how long? They say, 1,100 kilometers. After 15 minutes, you ask, how much? 1,090 kilometers. After 15 minutes, again you ask, how much? 1,080 kilometers. How much? After 15 minutes. 1,082 kilometers. Why? Detour. Work is going on. You have taken detour. Hey, just now you said 100, now you are increasing. After driving for another 15 minutes. This is called desire for fruit of action. Shraddha in this jnana phala is this road will take me to my desired destination. And destination is for sure. Surety of the destination. Otherwise, you will ask this question, sir. You will have the doubt. Sir, I am attending Vedanta class for the last 15 years. Nothing seems to have happened to me. I can't tell you. I've been teaching Vedanta class for 25 years. Nothing happened to me. You are attending 1 class a week. I am taking 7 classes a week. Still nothing happened. Now what is going to happen to you? They go. The correlation between your effort and effect is not easy to get here. In all other things, somewhere down the line, it is easier for you to capture the connection between the cause and effect. See, so Shraddha is easy there. You can have the trust. I'm going. Now, at least in that example, if you keep traveling, after 2 hours you look up, it will show less. It will show less. Imagine you have traveled 15 hours. Still it is showing 1,100 kilometers. What will happen to you? You have been driving for the last 15 hours, non-stop. Don't ask me which car. Okay. What will be the condition of the car? I don't know. But imagine, 15 hours you keep driving. After 15 hours, you check, okay, now how much we have covered, how close we are to Bombay. Distance shows what? 1,100 kilometers. What will happen to you? Hmm? That's exactly what the condition here is. You keep studying, and still nothing would seem to be happening. At least some vision I'm getting. Earlier I was getting only bells. Now, all that smell also is coming. First I was seeing only light, and then I hearing bell sound. And now the bell sound is more clearer. And now I'm getting this agarbatti smell also, sir. And something is there for you to believe, you can get convinced. You'll continue and sustain your effort. See, in this knowledge, the problem is so difficult to recognize the effect. We are seeing, the other one, other class, VT class, is intrinsic being. See, vague ideas. Fortunately, I'm not having live class. Offline. It's only online. So I am alone in the room. Otherwise, I ask people about perfection. Spiritual person, and who is a spiritual man, who is enlightened. My God, what they gave. Unbelievable, things. With all that in background, you read that, portion. That would look so flat. That's all, is it? All these things I know already. The book will look like that. Looks so uninspiring. So difficult to recognize that how close you are to realization. Very difficult. And time and again, we do require that anxiety that we develop to keep checking how close I'm getting, how close I'm getting, how close I'm getting. That is called desire. Desire to attain the fruits of action. That's the meaning of desire to attain the fruits of action. Here, it is Shraddha. Means what? There is no way, there is a indications or proofs that you can have to convince yourself that you are closer to what you desire, what you wanted to achieve. How close are you to the sakshatkara? We ask. How close are you to realization? How close is 1,000 to infinity and 10 billion to infinity? Which is closer?
Same.
Equidistance, no? You can't say, oh, 10 billion must be much closer to infinite. No. Infinite is equidistance with both. Very difficult to understand. He's going to treat both equal. Yes, sir. 99.8 admitted. Same class. A fellow who scored 9 marks admitted to the same class. What that student will say? Why I had to break my head to get 99, man? I would have got 9 only, no? Right. But then the student he says, no. You're 9, you will not get it. Reservation policy.
36.
Yeah, 9 is enough. 36 also not needed. Yes, 0 you say, sir, 0, what about that, sir? Admitted. Everyone will get admission. Then why a student will study that? If Brahman is equidistant to all of us, and there is no way that you can know that you are going closer to Brahman, and Brahman is available to every one of us, immediate question will come is what? Then why should I put in any effort? Once the question comes, what is answer? No need. Without effort, will you get? You will not get also. With effort, no guarantee. Without effort, definitely not. Start. That's why he says you need that Shraddha in the fruit of this knowledge. Why? You can't verify. It's not verifiable. Can somebody give certificates to you? He is a self-realized person. He is very close to realization. Tomorrow morning he'll get realization. Who can give certificate? No one can give. Will you know? Okay, forget about outsiders giving. At least I should know. No. Will I know? Continue. What will help you? What will make you continue? Is the Shraddha. How do I cultivate that Shraddha? That's why another aspect of Shraddha comes, devotion. Now, what effort I can put in to cultivate my Shraddha? What do you have to do for that? Keep thinking about Shraddha. Keep inquiring on what is Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Keep inquiring that. Then you will get it. If jnanam is the only way to reach the truth, thus karma and bhakti is a preparatory step before taking into jnana. Yes, correct. This karma and bhakti, this karma or upasana, what the Upanishadic language, they use the word upasana. Karma and upasana, where it prepares. To perform that karma and upasana also you need basic knowledge. That is what we give in the, if you remember the diagram Swamiji gives, the path to realization, we'll give 3, karma, bhakti, jnanam. So there the term jnanam is different, okay? So don't get mixed up. There the jnanam is preliminary knowledge. What is a preliminary knowledge? That is what we are gaining now. What is a preliminary knowledge? That's what we are gaining. Then what is the real jnanam effort? The real jnanam effort is the dharana and dhyana. In the dharana state and the dhyana state, you gain a particular knowledge. You see, which is referred to as manana nididhyasa. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, he gives 3 points: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. How do you gain that knowledge of the self? He says you have to do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Maitreyi Brahmana. Very interesting one. I'm just reminded of this. Maitreyi Brahmana appears twice. Same topic. in one book, you will never find, nowhere you will find in the world that the same book, the same topic appear twice. No one will write a book like that. Veda and Upanishad is the only book in the world. Okay. Same discussion comes again. Same thing, same topic, same title. Peculiar one. But there, that Shravana is where you gain basic knowledge. And then you have to sit and do Manana and Nididhyasana. When you sit and do Manana and Nididhyasana is what is strictly considered as Jnanam. Liberal knowledge, liberally we take knowledge means we take Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. All three would be referred. But the strict definition of Jnanam is only when you do Manana independently. And then you further refine it. That's what we call as reflection and contemplation. You reflect and you contemplate. You keep repeating that. Rolling over mentally the same thing again and again and again. That's why we play cards. All spiritual people play cards. Manana people play that. Why? Same 13 cards only. Nothing else. And even more spiritual people play dice game. Only 6 sides are there. Isn't it? 6 only, no? 6 dots. That's all. Here 13, 6 and 9. Same thing again and again and again and again. What amount of permutation, combinations again and again and again. It is so interesting, gripping. If you can get that with these ideas, with these thoughts, to go over the same thing again and again. Different things are when it is not Manana. See, doing different things is called Shravana, reading, listening. So you listen, which is the basic one. Basic information is needed for you. For that basic knowledge is needed. That's why in the second chapter, he called the Karma Yoga as Buddhi Yoga. He referred Karma Yoga, but he called it as what? Buddhi Yoga. Sir, with Buddhi we gain Jnana only, no? Jnana Yoga. Then why is he referring there? You need intellect. You need that basic knowledge for you to practice. So gain that basic knowledge. And then you do your reflection. So that's the method. Jnanam, the only way. Jnanam here means Manana and Nididhyasana. Some are very orthodox people don't even consider Manana. Manana also they say it is too many things. They say only Nididhyasana will be taken by those people. Strictly. This. And some of them say only Sakshatkaram is real Jnana. Rest are all Ajnanam. Dismissed. So Jnanam refers to actual realization. Jnanam refers to only Nididhyasana, leading to realization. Jnanam refers to Manana, refining itself into Nididhyasana, leading into realization. Jnanam means Shravana, the basic information reflected upon, refined, realized. So this is Jnana. So in every context, you need to ask this question. In this context, what is it that we are referring to as Jnanam? What is referred as Jnanam? What is referred as Jnanam? So we have to keep asking this question. Right? There's one more question. Is reduction of agitation a sign of progress in the journey? The answer is yes, theoretically. But definitely we will not take that as a yardstick to define, because the test is a very, very deceptive one. Reduction of agitations is a easy, defective. Defective in the sense you are, in the name of becoming more and more objective, you could be slipping into indifference. And when you are slipping into indifference also, you will not have any agitations. So like, don't define yardstick. So don't define growth by reduction of desires. Reduction of agitations, not desires. Reduction of agitations. Defined it by reduction of agitations. They say wrong. Ulta also ulta, no. Eraser. The cause is reduction of desires. The effect is reduction of agitation. So, do not define your spiritual growth by the effect. Right? Go to the root, which is the reduction of desires. Sir, for me to know the reduction of desires, first of all, I should have been aware of my desires first. Isn't it? When you started the journey, were you aware of the desire or you are aware of your agitation? When you started the journey, you started with what? You registered, sir, I am so disturbed, I am so agitated, I am so stressed out, I am so frustrated, whatever. Therefore, you started searching for a solution. And when you found various solutions wanting, and something directed you to search through spiritual, therefore you had come to spiritual and you have started pursuing it. All along you have been keeping what is the reference point? Agitations as a reference point. You have never kept the reference point as my attachments and my desires. Because essentially you are not having any problem with your attachment. Essentially you are not having a problem with your desires. You are having problem with attachment only when that attachment causes disturbance, disharmony, rupture in the relationship, fight desire. Always fighting. Our conversation never concludes as conversation. We start as conversation, land up there. The fourth door I'm changing the house. Everybody slams the door, what will happen? I'm giving example. Have strong doors. Why? So much of this. So you don't have problem essentially with attachment. This attachment is causing agitation to you. Therefore, you are against attachment. So essentially, you are against what? Agitation. Since you have started your spiritual pursuit itself from frustrations and agitations, and you never probe into the cause of it, and you have never realized the real cause, which is the presence of desires, you pursue reduction of desire, will it happen? You are against agitations. You are searching for solutions to combat effectively that agitation. And anything which is going to help you to reduce that agitation, you will grab it. Isn't it? Doesn't make any difference. If Vedanta class is going to give you that, you will grab the Vedanta class. For another person, it is movies. For another person, it is travel. For another person, it is just 2 shorts. 1.5 hours Vedanta class is not needed. All that you require is what? 2 pens enough. Another person says, I'll go and play golf. Golf gives me reduction of agitations. Be careful. If you take reduction of agitation to be the reference point, then anything reduces your agitation should be taken as evolution. It should be both sides. Only then it is correct. If A is equal to B must be necessarily equivalent to A. So A is equal to B, but B is not equal to A now. Something is missing there, isn't it? It's not a straightforward equation. That's all. I'm not saying it is wrong. I'm not saying it will never happen. There are situations, there are equations where A will be equal to B, but B may not be necessarily be equal to A. Possible. But then you should know that. If you don't know, what will happen? If you know only the first equation, if A is equal to B, B is equal to A. Only that if you know, you will go out and keep claiming what? Anywhere there is less agitation, you will call that as this. Anywhere there is more agitation, you will call it as what? I remember the stress management seminar we had. One participant during lunchtime came to me. Why your Swamiji looks so agitated? He said, we are only stressed. No. Why is he stressed? I told him, ask him after the lunch. There will be a Q&A session. We'll start with a Q&A session. Ask him. Because when we eat some masala, no, there is no entertainment for us. Other fellow is very sensible. He didn't ask. Smart fellow. Then why are you getting stressed? Says, hey, we are getting stressed. Why are you getting stressed? Looking at us getting stressed. That means what? If you take agitation, then Rama will be disqualified. Isn't it? Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda Rama will be disqualified from a perfect person, spiritually evolved. Forget about Avatar Purusha. He became Avatar Purusha after killing Ravana. During this period, he was lost itself. Then what is the criteria? Say, go to the cause. What caused agitation is desires. So, reduction of desires will definitely result in reduction in agitation. But you can't go by this. This is not a reliable one. Okay, what about reduction of desire? that is not easy for us to recognize. You see the problem? Very interesting question. Very fundamental question, actually speaking. Yes. Reduction of desire is not reliable. You can't rely on that parameter. So that is kept outside. Okay, sir, what about the other side, which is reduction of desires? For which you should know the initial quantum, no? Only then you can say reduction, no? Initial quantum itself have not been mentioned. It's like we say, oh, he started business, he has become a billionaire. Oh. Why? Before that, what was he? Before that, he was a billionaire. Now he has become a billionaire. Now you call him as a great businessman and give him an award also for that. Oh. You should know the starting point. But we know for certain spiritual effort has to reduce desires. But we cannot be sure why you don't have enough data with you. So this is not a reliable factor. This is incomplete factor. Factor. What is a parameter with which you can define your spiritual growth then? Which should be a foolproof method. Or let's say, okay, if not absolute one, relatively it should be foolproof. It cannot be easily deceiving. But we go to the basic rule. Basic rule is you cannot know the cause. The only possibility is the effect. Cause you can never know. No one can know the cause. Effect only we can realize, we can recognize. What is relatable, what we can understand is only the effect. Reduction of desire is a cause. Does reduction of desire result only in reduction of mental agitation? Or will it result something else also? Is there anything else that will happen? You're all with me? Think carefully.
Positive effect also.
There has to be, exactly. If this is happening, we talk about spiritual growth. When we say growth, something should be increasing also in you, evolving in you, developing in you, growing in you positively. Reduction of desires, reduction of agitation, correct. But is this the only effect? Say no. Something else also happens parallel, alongside. That is a better factor, more reliable factor. Why? Because we can see that increasing. We can see a positive development. The positive development is much easier to recognize than the negative absence. See, negative absence is not a reliable. So we have removed it already. This also. What is it that comes along with reduction of desires? Oh, one big idea. Work on it. One is I'm assuming your spiritual efforts are all in the proper direction. You're doing it the way you are supposed to be doing. All that is, I'm not challenging that. I'm assuming your efforts are proper. I'm not talking about all, because so many things you have to consider. I'm assuming all that is there. But this is the clue. What is that is going to be happening parallel along with the reduction of desire? Something else also happens. Along with the reduction of agitations, one more thing happens in positive. What happens? Can we take that as a parameter to define, to assess our spiritual evolution? This is how you got to think. This is called reflection. We say reflection. This is reflection. Don't just assume things. Say, yeah, earlier I was getting angry. Now I'm not getting angry. Therefore, I've grown spiritual. Thanks to you. I said, Guru Daksha pay panniya. Thanks to you. Who needs your thanks? DD pay panniya. Point is not these things. The factors that we are considering should be a reliable, almost, or at least so difficult to misunderstand and easy to recognize. Am I growing or not? So that should be the factor. Your jnanam is increasing, your, this one, that one, Allah. Not easy to register. A clue, this is how you derive it. Where you get a clue is this. This is the right start. Where you say, reduction of agitations I am experiencing, sir. Is this reduction of desires because of the reduction of desires? Agitations reduced because of reduction of desires or something else? That doubt will come. Therefore, this we keep it aside. 1. 2, you say, can I know the reduction of desires? Not possible because I don't even know my total number. See, desires. Maybe the desires have been suppressed. You don't know. How do you know whether the desires were factually sublimated? And you say, no, I've stopped smoking, sir. I quit smoking. To claim that you had quit smoking, the doctors, they say, there has to be a gap between the first cigarette and the second cigarette. Should be 7 years. If the next cigarette, the gap is 7 years, means you had quit smoking. Anything less than that, they say what? Not accepted. The last 2 months I am not smoking. Therefore, I quit smoking. Will not be accepted. Think on that. If your identification with everyone increases, is that a positive sign? I don't know. Is that a positive sign? I don't know whether it is a positive sign or not. The identification with others increasing. Identification with others increasing, is it a easy one to recognize? I have a tremendous identification with you. You got to accept it, no? Acknowledge it, no? Suppose if you say,
Somebody else
Yeah.
should be able to recognize.
they also should know.
Yes.
I recognize my identification, always my answer will be what? If I ask a question, okay, instead of the word identification, I ask the question love.
Yes.
Do you love everyone or not? That's why Krishna in the Gita puts it as what? No hatred. Dvesha. Sarva Bhutana. No dvesha to all beings. No hatred, he says. Why? Because identification is not a. Of course, the reduction of desires, the identification may increase also. But can we consider that? Is the point. Is it a measurable one? How can I measure? Okay, 5 years back, my level of identification with my wife, and today my level of identification with my wife. How will you recognize? Has it increased or decreased? Yes. 10 years back, what was my identification with my daughter 10 years back versus my identification with my daughter now? 10 years back, my identification with my mother, and 10 years today, identification with my mother. How do you measure it? Agitation looks easy, sir. Identification is more complex, far more subtler and difficult it is to recognize. So how do you recognize? Has your love increased or your love? How will you define? Okay, increase of my love. My love has increased. How will you know? But now again you have to go to another analysis. See, the answer is correct. But this is not really helping me because the person is asking that question. Says, sir, isn't it the reduction of agitation the method? You rejected a method, which means you got to replace something which is simpler than that. No. Rejecting it, but no replacement.
Personality chart.
Class 11 poche. Personality chart. Class itself, I had to take 11 classes, which is incomplete. You see, the last 2 classes I was rushing because I have already committed that I will complete 11 classes. Suppose you have not committed, I would have extended that to 15 classes. If I take today, I don't know how long it will go again. It's more complex. Remember, the direction was correct. The starting point was correct. Agitation, removed. Reduction of desires, correct. Then next step is, along with the reduction of desires, what all can happen? Of those things, which factor we can take as a parameter to measure spiritual growth? And who asked a question? Fantastic question. Very, very realistic one. Down to earth. Think about it. Okay. We see in the next class.